Picture this. You're newer to Jurassic World, the game. You've played for a couple weeks, gathered some good creatures, got great materials. You're feeling confident about where you are. You open up your battle menu and you see that shiny toad creature you wanted. So you choose to spend the next 3 days battling for this creature only to find you end up in survivor mode by the end. You feel crushed like you will never be able to get these good creatures. Only good players will ever be able to get them, and you're stuck collecting crumbs of these rares and super rares and maybe the occasional legendary. If this is you, fear not. As someone who has won many tournaments in the past, I'm here to share to you my 5 tips to reaching Dominator League every time. Let's start. Know how many trophies. With tip number 1, understand how many trophies you will need. In Jurassic, the game tournaments tend to follow a pattern with how many trophies you will need by the end. Knowing this kind ahead of time will probably save you thousands of bucks in game. The most common ones are 1,500 and 2,500. I've heard sometimes that there's a 1,800, but I've been told it hasn't happened for quite a while. One way you can tell is what kind of dinosaur you're going to be fighting. For example, someone like Blue the Raptor or the Mosasaurus or Indominus Rex will more than likely be a 2,500 account due to them being popular dinosaurs. Other creatures probably like Struthium, Cryophosaurus, or even Donicus will more than likely be 1,500, cause they're not quite in that demand. So make sure you check to see how many you will be needing to be battling for. Use lower level creatures. Tip number 2, use lower level creatures in earlier leagues. There are -1 leagues in Jurassic World, the game. Tournaments, hatchling, prey, survivor, hunter, predator, and dominator. The higher up you go, the harder the creatures you'll be facing. Knowing this, it is recommended not to use super strong creatures in the early game. For example, in hatchling, your first battle will more than likely be some common creatures below level 10, unless you're in the left thorax tournament. Will do. You, and you will do the lowest, and then we'll kind of see how that goes. So there's no need to use you strongest creatures in your roster. Rather, match your creatures more with this. This also applies with the next. Boost trophy earnings. Tip number 3. Boost your trophy earnings by lowering your team's overall strength. When you win a battle in a tournament, you earn trophies. These are needed to win tournaments. The number of trophies you earn are based on how tough your battle was for you. This is calculated by your team's strength versus your opponent's strength. The stronger your team, the less you earn. The weaker your team, the more you earn. You can earn up to 40 trophies every match, while also the minimum being at 20. This is another reason why you should use weaker creatures in earlier leagues. Let's say you use 3 legendaries in Hatchling League. You'll face off against way weaker dinosaurs in this. By the end of the battle, you'll earn 20 trophies. Now, let's go back in time, but this time you use common creatures around level 5 or 6. You do end up winning the battle, and you gain 36 trophies, almost double the amount you would win with those legendary creatures. This is why it's important to remember this, so you can earn more trophies in less battles, and it costs you less time and less, not real PvP resources. Tip number 4, it's not real PvP. What I mean by this is, something that you'll pick up as you play is that you'll find moves that your opponent makes and think, huh, you could have gotten me there. That was kind of stupid. And it was. You're not facing real people, you're facing a computer designed to mimic as if you were fighting other players. Pay attention on how points are spent by opponents. You'll be able to pick up patterns as these bots like to use. Something I always recognize is that if you are on your last creature, your opponent is more likely to go all out with his attack. So, normally I like to block a lot to protect myself, and if I have the extra points, put him into reserve. That way, next turn I know my opponent has no block, and I can go all out with the victory. This isn't 100%, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. And finally, tip number 5, flock creatures. Probably my best tip, use flock creatures. Flock creatures follow a special rule. Their health is divided into 3 sections. You or your opponent can only take away health in other sections after you take out all the health in previous sections. This is a good way to build points in the early match. Even if your flock creature only has 100 HP, it'll still take 3 turns to knock out. Although, keep in mind if your opponent goes 7 and it's enough to knock you out completely, that will. But in the early game, this is quite rare.